We'll call to order the Stevensville Town Council meeting agenda for Thursday, February 27th, 2025. Janelle, would you please take the roll call?
Councilor Barker? Here. Councilor Brown? Here. Councilor Nelson?
Here.
Councilor Smith?
Here.
Mayor Michelson?
Here. Would you all please stand for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We'll move on to public comments. Public comments on anything that is not on the agenda tonight. Seeing none, we'll move on to approval of minutes. There will be no minutes. Janelle has been so busy taking care of the Creekside stuff that she didn't have time to put them in, so.
They will
They'll be in
both
the
be in on the 13th, you guys. I apologize, but.
All right, so we'll move on to item number 5, the approval of biweekly claims. Can I get a motion, please? Councilmember Barker.
I make a motion to approve biweekly claims number 19516 through 19528.
We have a motion by Councilmember Barker. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Smith. We have a discussion from the council on the claims. Councilmember Nelson.
First claim number 19516. What is the ordinance hearing?
Those are the ordinance that we have to put in, the last ordinance that passed for the parking one. And,
Oh, okay.
and what was the other one? There's another ordinance too.
Yeah, it says there's
One had to
two.
do with it, Greg. Oh, it had to do with the, planning and zoning, the variance, the state law.
Oh, we have to put it in the papers.
Putting it into the,
Veterans.
put it in the
I
variance
understand.
star, they have to be put in by law.
Okay.
That's what those are.
And the only other one I found to have any question on was claim number 19521.
Geofencing,
Yes,
they're the ones that are helping with our water rights.
okay.
They're helping with, Rossmore with the water rights.
Yes.
So these are just fees from the company?
Ross Millen contracted this company out, Jared Bean.
Okay.
And this is his company. He's basically taken over the wells out here, Twin Creeks behind here,
Okay.
trying to get those straightened out there.
Are these the last phases by chance that we're gonna be paying for on this, or no? No, yeah.
I wish.
That's all I have.
Okay. Councilmember Brown.
Claim number 19523, the Morrison Marley and the airport project. The town share is $3,039.93. That is in the airport does have the money in their budget for that one.
Correct.
Okay. And then, under the credit card 19524, top of page 6, we have CDL Physical Matthew for 4008, and then this another one for him for 3996. My question comes down at the end of that page where it says for Cody, it says 3996, and then it says Cody 4008, and then Cody another one 3996. So there was two 3996. One at the bottom of page 6 and one at the top of page 7.
At the top of page 7.
Yes, it's, yeah,
Seven is the signature. At the top of page 7,
yeah, it's the second one.
407.
Your page 7 is different.
so my page 7 is different.
Yours is different than mine.
So if you look at his are split between the different funds. So, because he belongs to different departments, it's gonna be split.
Well, I guess my question is why is one guy's bill much higher than the other one.
She's saying there's $239 for Cody and one at $40 for Cody, but for Matthew, there's one at $39 and one at $40. That was just what the doctor charged.
Yeah, that's a doctor. I don't think we control that.
Well, it
Let's see
seems
what you're
strange
saying.
we
Matthew
have,
has the same thing. Just one right here. 39.96. 39.96.
okay. And
They're the
then,
same date of service on those.
But it's coming out of different accounts.
okay. And then, claim number 19528 for, Ed Sutherland excavation, sand for streets. Is that where we're buying their sand now?
Where's this at? Which one?
Oh, 19528.
Sutherland excavating.
It's the last claim. Says sand for streets. Are we buying it from Ed now?
No, that was Ed. That was Ed Sandy.
Oh, well, it says sand for streets, so I didn't understand.
Yeah, but right above there, it say 429, Ed Sutherland excavating.
Right,
But
so
it
it
just-
just says sand
Okay, yeah, it
for
was for doing
streets.
sand, yes.
So we paid Ed to sand the streets.
We did that weekend, yes, when we were guys. Right, Steve?
That's what we used it.
He came and helped us.
Yeah, we used the sand for the streets. How do you want that listed?
All right, just, it said sand for streets, so I thought he was supplying the sand,
Not to spread.
not to spread the
Yeah, he
sand.
was spreading. Our sand's actually free.
So that was confusing.
Was that the weekend, Steve, that we couldn't get anybody? And Ed said that he would gladly do it, but he would have to use our sand truck, otherwise he would go back and forth.
Yes, but our sand truck battery was dead, couldn't crank it. So he wound up using his own truck.
Okay.
So Monday morning, I brought a new battery.
So can I show you, Cindy, on this claim for Matthew, and the reason it is, because the total charge is $120, and we split it between the different funds. That's what it says that.
That was just
Yeah.
confusing, why we had so many charges, I guess.
And it's because you have to break it out between the different funds, and it goes to the proper account.
So there's one for Matthew on there too. Is that the same way that his is done?
Yep, they're all done that way, so
I
if you
think we
look,
have a good
part of
deal.
it comes out of the general fund, part of it comes out
Anytime
of
I had to do
the
it, physical or something, I had to pay for it.
Any other questions on the claims? Any questions on the public on the claims? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the roll?
Councilmember Brown?
Aye.
Councilmember Barker?
Aye.
Councilmember Nelson?
Aye.
And Councilmember Smith?
Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Moving on to item number 6, the unfinished business, discussion decision, service contract between Trojan Technologies Group, ULC, and the town of Stevensville. That's to do with our UV lighting down there. One of the circuits or whatever got messed up, and Steve notified me, and I brought it for you guys. You guys had some questions, and now, in fact, we also, Steve, when we talked to George, there was a company without Colorado.
Yes. Well, Trojan's nearest office is in Colorado. Talked to another one in Ohio, that's another quote.
Oh, that one, this one's here from Ohio?
The expensive one. And I talked to another guy in Texas who said he didn't really want to do it, but he'd send me a number, but then he didn't.
No.
Nobody's local. So when they are charging these big fees, it's for their plane to get here, it's for their hotel room, and the work that they do. So the UV system is the last.
You want to step up?
Yeah, it's the last disinfectant before it leaves the plant, before it's discharged. So there are 2 UV banks. I think there's 24 bulbs per bank. It's designed to switch off every month. For the past 14 months or so, it's only been running on one thing. Because when it tries to switch off, something in this other one rejects it. It won't bring it up to UVI intensity. So when it won't do that, it kicks it back to the original one. So it's been running like this for over a year. Crews tried to fix it. Cody and I looked at it. We replaced the ballast in it. We cleaned the sensors. We cleaned the bulbs. It needs a professional to look at it. And Trojan is the one who built the thing. Since it has been installed, it has never had a professional visit. It's only been maintained. Okay, well, we maintained it to death and we don't know how to fix it. So I need somebody in here who knows how to fix it, because if this thing goes, our E. coli levels are gonna be off the charts and we're gonna get fined and it's gonna be bad. We're gonna get letters and it'll be an embarrassment. We need to get it fixed. So one charge from Trojan was $3,600 or something, but then if you get on this 5-year contract, $1,650 per visit, one visit per year for 5 years. So that's pretty darn cheap compared to these other guys. Cindy, you had a question last time, how much if they go over their 8 hours? It's $315 an hour. So hopefully we can get it in 8 hours. If they were to come, then Cody and I would be there with them for that entire day. And he's going to show us every single thing that he does, all his diagnostics that he runs, what he does to fix it. So if it's between visits and something happens again, then maybe we can fix it. But there's a programming thing in there. It's a computerized thing. It's a programming thing. We can't fix it. I need a professional.
Do you want to just stay, the council might have some questions for you.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Before they.
Sure.
So this company from Canada that comes up here, they fly here. I'm assuming that's what they're gonna have to do, flying in the zoo, hotel, everything.
Yeah.
That's above and beyond the contract, correct?
No, that's in that 1650.
That's in the 16.
That's as far as, I don't see anything outside that. I think that's included in their 1650.
That's included?
Yeah, I didn't see anything in it that said plus.
I didn't see
So,
Okay, and let's say that day they're here, they come here and they look at it. That 8 hours they're here, they're charging $300-something an hour above and beyond the.
no, for the 1650, you get them for 8 hours for the 1650. The 9th hour costs $315.
Okay,
Anything over and above 8 hours, that's their overtime period.
Councilmember Parker.
Before we have any more discussion, we need to have a motion on the table, please.
Yes, we can. We have a motion.
See, this one was tabled last time, right?
Councilmember Parker.
I make a motion for approval of the service contract between Trojan Technologies Group, ULC, and Town of Stevensville. However, it does state in the bottom here, which should not have included in this particular topic. This should have been part of a new business item, the second quote.
Well, then, just don't put that in the motion.
I just let them know that it should have been in new business. So,
We need a second.
Could we restate the motion again?
the motion was stated, service contract between Trojan Technologies Group, ULC, and the Town of Stevensville, excluding the second quote for the attached to this agenda item from UV Technologies LLC.
Good.
Because this was not the original.
I'll second.
We have a motion, we have a second by Councilmember Smith. All right, now for the discussion on the council. Councilmember Brown.
So I have questions. Have we contacted our engineering firm, HDR, and even called them and talked to them and tell them what we're having the problem with? And did they have any suggestions for us? And did we have a request for service go out? And when did it go out and who did it all go to? And when the deadline was for it? And then I had some, questions on the actual Trojan EV contract here, because it says that they shall perform routine maintenance. Is this something that is the problem down there, something that is considered routine maintenance? Because under their routine maintenance, it kind of has visit and then it's blank. So they don't really say what their routine visit is. The other thing is they have Mr. Lester as being the person signing the contract. That should be the mayor. And then one other thing I spotted when reading through these. And one place I found, under number 23, it says, be governed by the laws of Ontario, federal laws of Canada. Those were my questions on this.
I have not asked HDR, I have not requested service. This was the point. I had to get over this to actually request for them to come here, but, so now I just get quotes. HDR is not, to my knowledge, UV people. I don't know if they could fix.
I don't know what HDR could really do in this case.
HDR was our engineering firm for the sewer and water.
Yeah, but they didn't install the system.
Correct, but they might have a suggestion. Do you know what the routine maintenance that these people?
It's a routine, yeah, it's a routine diagnostic check, make sure your sensor's good, your bulbs are good, your ballasts are good. Your computer components are good. Obviously, something's wrong somewhere. So in their diagnostic, they're gonna find what's wrong with it. If it needs a part, it's gonna be over and beyond the 1650. I don't know what. Stuff's expensive.
Councilmember.
Stephen, the one bank that is down, you said you tried to do some maintenance on it. Did you have to replace any parts?
A ballast, yeah.
Was it from Trojan?
Yeah.
Okay, because I just read anything not from them.
Yeah. It's actually, it was a rebuilt one from them. So instead of buying a brand new one, Cruise had it rebuilt. And it didn't make any difference. So that tells me it wasn't a ballast. It's the brains of the thing. And there's buttons on there, and there's different settings, there's different parameters, and there's too many hands in pushing buttons in there.
Kind of like a brain on a car.
Yeah, it's like that. Go work on a new car. Can't do it. So maintenance, we can do it all day long, and we have. And we're just to a point where like, something's gotta be done about this. It's been running a year like this. So these bulbs are good for, I think, an 8,000 hour bulb life. And we're still good on our bulb life. And they can see that actually somehow. They have a monitoring system. When I talked to them, they told me how many hours are on the bulbs. So somehow they're remotely connected to it, but he can't diagnose it from there about what's wrong with it. But these other bulbs, these bulbs are $800 a piece. There's 24 of them. And they've been running solid for a year. So I'm trying to have that off.
So we're putting extra pressure on there.
Yeah, big time.
So those are, okay. How many banks of lights are there then? You've got the ones that are just working right now.
Yeah, there's 2 banks. So there's one bank that's working.
And then how many, there's 24 in that?
24 is one. Yeah, there's a bunch
Just
of
24 in that bank and then 24 in the bank that's not working.
Yeah, they're called different modules. And there's different. You can pull them independently, separately.
Yeah, because I see where it says channels, bank channels, module banks.
Yeah, they're actually down in the water, and that UV light kills the last of anything going out there. Bank B is the bad thing.
Oh, yeah, we have to have it
We
fixed.
all
That's
have
not-
in place.
The issue, the bottom line is, do we want to do a one-time fix for more price, or do we want to do
Exactly,
a maintenance for 5 years?
Exactly.
That's the bottom line.
That-
We're gonna get it
that-
fixed
yeah.
either way.
that's fine too. And if you wanted to do the one-time deal, then I would squeeze every minute of every hour out of him, get our money's worth, and get some training out of it too. Get the most of the cameras here, if you want to do the $3,600.
The only thing I don't like about it is that it's subject to change. You know, we go in with the $1,625 a year, but it says, and is subject to price increase at the time of renewal. So
After 5 years.
is that after the
After
5 years?
Yeah,
So
we're good for
We're
16.
locked in for this price.
For 5 years. Yeah. And they may double it after, I don't know, but yeah, that's the point of the contract, and I was actually surprised that it was a little less than half price if you were to commit for the 5 years.
And I just hope to goodness that it includes his airfare, because that just seems really cheap not to have the airfare in there.
I can verify it, but I just never saw any other. The 3650 says the same thing. It doesn't say anything about extra airfare or motel.
I think it just says airfare included on that one.
If this, see, they're out of Canada, but they have offices all over America. There's a half a dozen. It's just that the closest one to us is Colorado. Maybe he would drive from Colorado. I don't know.
Because this one says for 35, says includes airfare and travel related expenses.
Okay.
If required, each additional day on site will cost us $1,250 per day on site.
And that's per day. 8 times 3 is 24. So still a break from the hourly price, $315.
How old is the system, Steve, overall, do you know?
When it was put in, when the plant was done, 2011, 9,
2010
and
2009.
10 or 11,
it was the original.
15 years old.
And bulbs have been changed and ballasts have been changed. You know, I've kept up to date.
So I'm wondering if maybe a service contract for as it gets older wouldn't be a bad idea. I don't
It's
know.
getting old, you know? This way, if you did the contract, then a professional is coming every single year and tweaking it and doing things and, you know, even if it's running perfect. You know, maybe he'll come and find something that we can improve it.
Would they come once a year? Would
Yeah,
they come once a
with the
year,
contract.
whether there's anything wrong or not? They
Yeah.
come to check out.
Yeah.
And they provide the airfare, the travel, everything.
That's, if you want me to check and make sure on the 5-year deal, I can call them tomorrow. You want to table it one more time, I'll find out.
I just feel that that's not included in
Okay.
there, and I don't want to get stuck with something more
Okay.
than what, and I understand we have to have it done, but there's so many little
Yeah,
points of,
yeah. What if it's a 1650 plus another 1,000 for air and, it's a good point.
Of course, if we didn't have the contract, it would cost the same for room and flight anyway.
Right.
Councilmember.
but other than, oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead, Councilmember.
Can she finish?
Yes, go ahead.
Right, I was just reading, 7 commercial basis, it, talks about the scheduled maintenance, and you brought up the 315, that's right there, USD. It also says additional service visits outside the routine maintenance visits, if needed, will be quoted and invoiced separately. It's not a giant deal, but do we know what they're going to be charging for something like that? Say if, you know,
Probably the daily rate. That's in the district.
Okay.
Because you're gonna be guaranteed one visit a year, but what if something happens before they get back? And
Yeah.
I wanna say, it's an emergency, you gotta get here.
Yeah.
So I bet that would be,
That's probably what that pertains to, okay.
Yeah.
That would,
because that wouldn't be covered, I don't think.
thank you.
Any more comments from the council before I ask the public? Any comments from the public on the Trojan contract with the UV lights down at the wastewater plant? Would the council like to table this until we get the answer on the airfare and everything and bring it back for one more meeting? Or would the council like to vote? Councilmember Barker?
I believe that it should be tabled until we get the final answer on that, and not to put it off, but I really think it's very important,
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
so.
Yeah. I'll call HDR also, send it, and we'll see if we can figure out what that's.
If they're already logging into your plant, they should be able to tell you if the problem is, the biggest thing is the problem part of this contract, or is it going to be outside of this contract? That's my biggest holdup, is if that is not part of the routine maintenance, which they're calling this routine maintenance, is what they're coming up here once a year for. If that's outside of routine maintenance, we are going to be paying the additional $315 per hour.
Yeah, if you can't get it done in a day.
Yeah.
And certainly any parts, you know. If he needs it. I can't,
It's just,
I had the thought, well, how can he carry every single part that he may need?
yeah.
So does that mean he has to come back?
It says it's routine maintenance,
Yeah.
so they only cover certain things, but that paragraph on this is blank, it's under number 4. It's blank.
Okay, there's some holes there.
Yeah, so if we knew what the routine maintenance ones, it would be a little bit easier, probably.
Okay.
Make
So
it
next
easier.
year would be routine. This year, we know this isn't routine.
Yeah, this is like a repair deal,
This is a
and
repair, yeah. This is-
then next year should be
So,
checked.
so for this year, we'll probably be paying the 16 plus a repair bill.
In my mind, I think so.
Could you find that out too when you find the airfare travel?
Yeah.
And then we'll bring that back. with the next-
And that's how they handle, what if there's a part you need that you don't have?
Yeah.
How are you gonna get it here? How are you coming back here? And how much is that gonna cost?
It's in the contract that the buyer is the one that's responsible for all that, for any of it, if we have to have it here. And then if we have a certain amount of time that we have to look it over to make sure it's the right part. And if it's not, then it's our responsibility again. So there's a lot of little,
Specific.
So maybe it might be wiser just to have them come the one time and fix the thing. I don't know.
What if UV came here without a contract? Have you asked them that?
It was $3,500.
$3,500, one-time fix.
And that one did specify, airplane, motel. Yeah. It didn't say much about any parts.
The contract did, like she was saying, in the section she was quoting, it makes it very clear that, say very clear, it's legal jargon, but it makes it seem like they're gonna come down, they're gonna diagnose an issue. And like you've already ordered parts from them, obviously.
Yeah.
So what they'll do is they'll make a list of the parts you need. And if they don't, that was also something I was thinking about. Are they gonna have to come back and install them for you guys? Or, you know,
That's a question, but I feel like that we should be able to do that, especially if the guy's right there on the site and says, you need this is the bad one, this is how you take it out, this is how you put it back in. I feel like we should be able to do that, but I can't tell you 100%.
And just to be the devil's advocate, possibly find out if they are going to charge you extra for training.
Man, you can't charge me just for hanging around. It's my
That's
thing.
true, that's true.
I'm just gonna be around.
Councilmember Brown.
I did, I was reading up on the Trojan system on their website, under Google, and they do come in and train the people.
Good. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate you looking at it so much. It's good.
I just spent nights reading.
Yeah,
I like to know what we're signing.
it's riveting.
So, do we have a motion yet? Stacy, did you put your hand up to do a motion to table? Councilmember Barker.
I would, obviously, do I have to recall or rescind? the
Yes,
first
go ahead and
motion?
rescind it, make a motion to rescind.
I would like to rescind the motion for service contract between Trojan Technologies Group, ULC, and the town of Stevensville.
We have a motion to rescind the service contract between Trojan Technologies Group LLC and Town of Stevensville. Do we have a second? Councilmember Smith.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second, we have a discussion from the council. Discussion from the public. Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
This is to rescind, correct?
Correct.
Councilmember Nelson,
Aye.
Councilmember Brown,
I
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
and Councilmember Barker.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Now, if I could get a motion to table this. Council members, Smith, Nelson.
I make a motion that we table the Trojan Technologies Group, ULC, this contract with the town of Stevensville until we get further information.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Nelson. Do we have a second? Councilmember Barker.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. We have a further discussion from the council on tabling the Trojan contract until we get more answers. Councilmember Barker.
I just have one comment. Maybe since this has been going on for a long time, maybe the former people down there did call HDR, so maybe they may file notes somewhere.
We have the time, I can make a phone call to HDR.
Well, I was just wondering, maybe somebody already did and there's a file note somewhere.
We'll see.
So that would save a phone call to HDR.
Any other comments from the council? Any comments from the public? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Nelson,
Aye.
Councilmember Brown,
Aye.
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
and Councilmember Barker.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Moving on to item number 7, new business. Discussion decision, resolution number 562, a resolution adopting a safety, health, and workers' compensation policy. So Gina's been on this for a while, so finally got a hold of MMIA and Derek Shepherd to draft for us. We didn't have a workman's comp policy when somebody got injured. We needed a format, so this is it. So with that, could I get a motion, please? Councilmember Brown.
I move that we approve resolution number 562, resolution adopting a safety, health, and workers' compensation policy.
We have a motion on resolution 562. Do I have a second? Councilmember Barker.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Barker on resolution 562. Do we have a discussion from the council? Councilmember Barker.
I just want to thank Gina for taking the time to put this together since the town has never had something like this before. Obviously, it's a piece that we've been missing for quite some time. And looking at the extensiveness of it, it's very cut and dry and it's all put together. Thank you.
Any other comments from the council on the work comp policy? Any comments from the public on the work comp policy? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Brown,
Aye.
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Nelson,
Aye.
and Councilmember Barker.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Moving on under new business, item number B, discussion decision, remove the yield sign at the southbound corner of Church Street and Fifth Street and replace it with a stop sign. This is Mr. Wally Smith's agenda, backed by Mr. G. Crowe. That can I get a motion, please. Councilmember Clark.
I make a motion to approve, remove yield sign at the southbound corner of Church Street and Fifth Street and replace it with a stop sign.
We have a motion by Councilmember Barker. Do we have a second? Councilmember Nelson.
I second that.
We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Nelson. Do we have a discussion from the council on changing the yield signs to stop? Councilmember Brown.
I was just wondering, did anybody review resolution number 230 regarding our streets and highways and our growth policy? Because they did have in there for our through streets and intersections and stuff like that, just done back in 2006.
Councilmember Brown. I did review that. Resolution 230 is right here. And it does say showing all, and this is the resolution that asks the Stevensville Town Council to have PCI draft up a master streets plan, 2006. So I went to the growth policy. I see where it says it has to follow the Stevensville 2000 streets master plan. Only problem is Janelle looked high and low everywhere, and we cannot find a 2006 street master plan. On the annex building, in there. So
It's gone.
we try to do our due diligence, but we just can't find one.
Did it go out the door when the policy went in?
But we looked everywhere, didn't we now?
I went through, well, and we've just done some really recent organization of the annex building, and so it's a lot easier to walk in and like go, okay, this is this area and things are in there, and then I went back over again yesterday or maybe the day before, and went through it all again, and then I went back through every cabinet here at Town Hall, and there is no study on streets by PCI from 2006 that I can find. Sorry.
We tried, like I said, we tried to find it. Any other discussion from the council on this side? Councilmember Brown.
Yes, I drove by these areas. I feel that it'd be a better place at that intersection for the people on Fifth Street to stop. And due to the fact that we have that curve down on the end of Fifth Street going on to College Street, to keep that traffic on Fifth slow down and not try to whip around that corner, because the kids I know run that stop sign down at the curve on the further end of Fifth Street.
This is where we can't do that.
Any other comments from the council?
No, okay.
Councilmember?
Originally it was submitted that we would put a stop on Fifth Street in College. And it was determined from MCA that that's not possible to do because you can't stop the traffic going the other way because there's not a full intersection.
Councilmember Brown.
There is a stop sign at that intersection on Fifth. If you're heading towards the school, going on to College, there is a stop sign there.
We're
When
talking about going north-south to stop the traffic going north-south.
Right, what I'm saying is it'd be best to go put the stop signs on Fifth Street at the intersection of the church going east-west instead of north-south. And the other problem is the one on the other corner that you want to put the sign is there's some big old trees there, and there is a yield sign there now, and once the trees are leafed out, it's very hard to see that sign. So those would need to be trimmed by the town.
Any other comments from the council? Return to the public. Any comments from the public? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Brown,
No.
Councilmember Barker,
No.
and Councilmember Nelson.
Aye.
Motion fails 2-2. Moving on to item number C, discussion decision, remove yield sign at northbound corner of Church Street and Fifth Street and replace with a stop sign. Just the opposite side. No motion? Okay. Move on to item number D. Discussion decision, install stop sign at the northbound corner of Church Street and Sixth Street. Can I get a motion, please? Start the discussion.
Okay, we want to think. Okay, let's get the right one here. Just a second. Okay, which one are we doing? Item C?
Correct. Remove yard sign at northbound corner of Church.
No. No, that one did not.
Councilmember Brown.
It's item D.
Oh, D,
B?
D,
You said D?
yes. C didn't get a motion,
Okay,
so we moved on to item D, discussion decision, install stop sign at northbound corner of Church Street and Sixth. Councilmember Smith.
I move that we install stop sign at northbound corner of Church Street and Sixth by removing the yield sign.
Okay. We have a motion by Councilmember Smith. Do we have a second?
Second that.
We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Nelson on item number D. We have a discussion from the council. Councilmember Brown.
Item D also does not say that there's a yield sign currently at that corner, at the northbound corner. So,
This one is the Sixth.
There's a yield sign, southbound side, but the northbound side doesn't contain any sign at all.
That's why it's not.
That's correct.
That's right.
so
Councilmember Brown.
can Mr. Councilmember Smith revise his motion, please?
Yes, I'll redo that. I move to install a stop sign at the north corner of Church and Sixth Street.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Smith. Do we have a second?
I second that.
We have a motion. We have a second to remove the stop sign at the northbound corner of Church Street and Sixth Street. We have a discussion from the council. Councilmember Smith.
Okay. The main purpose of all of these is for safety of the students walking home. On Fifth and Sixth, these are the main routes that, well, I've seen as many as 20 to 25 going just down Fifth, and there's even more on Sixth. So the concept is to slow down the traffic because yield signs and stop signs, not stop sign, yield signs and the 25-mile-an-hour speed limit are kind of like suggestions. They're just really not obeyed. And I've really seen in the 6 years living right at that corner, I've seen a lot of close calls. It's fortunate that we haven't seen, so this is the best we can do to mitigate, to slow things down in this particular areas. And perhaps there's even more that the chief can add to this.
Yes, Chief Ball.
I hope I talked to y'all before y'all started
voting on this. Good evening, council members and mayor. So when this was brought to my attention several weeks ago, it was something that I was already vaguely aware of. I spent a lot of time on the road, just watching stop signs and intersections where there's a lot of through travel, whether it be pedestrian or vehicular travel. These particular areas that we identified, that starting with item A all the way through item G, we spent a great deal of time meeting myself, Officer Pierce, and Officer Franklin, identifying these problems at these particular areas. And what we've done in the variables that I've been looking at are factors like speed, visibility, and then the conditioning of the drivers in general. Not meaning their personal condition, but their driving conditioning. Meaning we've talked about this in the past, but we've had far too many yield signs in the town of Stevensville limits. Most people are conditioned to just move through these intersections, and a lot of them do it unsafely. Hence all the repeated calls that we get to the police department for speeders, whether they're community members or visitors to the town. We get a lot of speeding through the town limits. And I hear a lot about convenience, taking Church Street and College Street to avoid Main Street. Well, convenience should never trump safety. So that's why I'm asking that you guys consider, placing stop signs at these particular intersections. One that's gonna recondition the driver in the community to actually come to full stops at these intersections, thus allowing for more of a safety aspect of it. Two, it's gonna provide a safer opportunity for pedestrian traffic. All those major thoroughways, I consider them to be 2nd Street, 3rd Street, 4th Street, 5th and 6th. We have pedestrian traffic on those streets, especially during the school year. As often as we sat there at those specific intersections and viewed traffic, I mean, we've got the data, whether it be through warnings or actual issuance of citations. Those are intersections of concern that need to be dealt with. And like I said, I've heard too often, it's just a matter of convenience, moving through those back roadways and avoiding main streets like Main Street. So that's why I partnered up with Councilman Smith to see if we could resolve this issue. That's why I think it's important as well.
Thanks, Chief.
You bet. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Any other comments from the council? On item number D. Comments from the public? Item number D. Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilman Nelson,
Aye.
Councilor Barker,
No.
Councilor Smith,
Aye.
and Councilor Brown.
I believe that this will kill the congestion around that area on this particular street. So
Motion passes 3-1. Thank you. Item number E, discussion decision, remove yield sign at the southbound corner of Church Street and 6th Street and replace with the stop sign. That connected motion. Commissioner Smith.
I move to remove the yield sign at southbound corner of Church Street and 6th and replace with the stop sign.
We have a motion, do we have a second? Councilor Nancy.
I second that.
We have a motion, we have a second to remove the yield sign at southbound corner of Church Street and 6th Street and replace with a stop sign. We have discussion from the council. Councilmember Wood.
Is that a dead end street anyway?
Councilmember Brown.
yes, that is the dead end street and it's there with all the apartment buildings.
I will say that a lot of kids do come down the street and they filter down through Fifth and come around and come down in that corner there that go to work for the market for lunch. It's real busy.
And not just pedestrian, but vehicular traffic from the high school. Yeah, we've got them walking in traffic every day.
Any other comments from the council? Any comments from the public? Seeing none, would you please take the vote?
Councilor Barker,
Aye.
Councilor Smith,
Aye.
Councilor Nelson,
Aye.
and Councilor Brown.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Item number F, discussion decision, remove yield sign at southbound corner of College Street and Fourth Street and replace it with a stop sign. So, I had a discussion with our chief, I, like the others, council members, I went and drove every stop sign, every thing on the agenda here. And the only thing that I was kind of puzzled at was when I went to the Fourth Street agenda item here, where the line of sight was forever. I mean, there's no houses either side, there's no brush, there's no obstruction. So I asked the chief about that, and he told me the reason why he wanted that on there was to slow the traffic. People go through there at a high rate of speed a lot of times. And it was just his vision that maybe a stop sign there that might slow them down a little bit. So, that can I get a motion? Council members, yes.
This is E,
F.
F, off early. I make a motion that we remove the yield sign at the southbound corner of College Street and Fourth Street and replace it with a stop sign.
We have a motion by Councilmember Nelson, do we have a second? Councilmember Smith.
Aye. Second.
We have a motion, we have a second by Councilmember Smith. We have a discussion from the council on Fourth Street, yield sign to a stop sign.
Is this is the street right before the park, correct? Because I'm trying to envision where it's.
It's over there up by the church, that little church there on Fourth Street, right there.
Backwards to me.
Yeah, so Sixth
Okay, so
Street,
that's the same street that CJ's is on.
the Sixth Street runs beside CJ's, so you're two more streets north of CJ's, basically off Sixth Street.
The church is at this corner.
Yeah, and so what we're getting is we're getting a lot of vehicular traffic coming from north to south, and and what they do typically is they'll avoid Main Street, and they'll come off of Second and come in Church Street, just to avoid the congestion on Main Street. And so that's where we're getting a lot of the speeders coming from. And a lot of them, they've been conditioned over the years to just roll through those intersections because they're posted yield signs, and that's where the problem comes in.
That's Sixth on Kodiak's. Fourth Street is up there. Yeah, Third is where it goes up to school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you come down one more. and
Fourth
that's
Street is the
Fourth
next
Street
one
is
south.
Cody. Or CJ's, that's what I said.
Yeah.
CJ's is
CJ's
Sixth
is
Street.
No, that's Kodiak's.
Kodiak.
Kodiak Jackson is on Sixth Street.
So this is right
Yeah,
by
yeah, I guess you're
CJ's.
right.
Yes, it is.
So CJ's comes up and then it curves and then you gotta go back and around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, when they come into town, because it's not just town folk that are coming through Stevensville, we get a great deal of vehicular traffic from 93 all the way to Corvallis. And a lot of them come in and they'll turn up east side and head out that way toward Logan. And so we're getting a lot of people who use those back roads like College and Church Street to stay away from the congestion of Main Street. Because during the middle of the day, you've got cars backed up 10, 15 deep waiting on that stop sign at Third. And so for convenience sake, they'll take those back roads. We don't have stop signs down there, so we can't slow them down. And
Councilmember.
We're still not slowing them down because I'm on Second Street. And they fly through those, and there's stop signs all the way up through there. I mean, it's an ongoing problem. No matter what we do, how many of these are we gonna keep replacing every time we turn around? I have no problem with putting stop signs up. But it's gonna be a continual issue until we start.
That's why we have to
enforcement
recondition
out there to
drivers.
be able to.
I can't ride a
We're gonna
stop
keep-
sign
we're
for
gonna
blowing
keep
through a yield sign, but I
reconditioning
can't do a
over and
stop
over
sign.
again. That's the problem. I don't have a problem with. Yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be an ongoing problem no matter what we do.
Yeah, for the time being, but, you know, at some point, they were conditioned to move through those intersections because of the yield signs. We'll recondition them over time to actually stop at those posted intersections.
I don't know, we've had those up there for almost 5-6 years off of Second Street, and they still fly through those stop signs.
This is just one effort in the many that we'll take over a period of time to kind of change that behavior. I know I can't have a police officer in each of those intersections, and that's an issue, so everything that we can do will help. Sound good?
Yeah, you're good. Thank you. Comments from the council? Any comments from the public? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take your vote?
Councilor Barker,
Aye.
Councilor Brown,
No,
Councilor Nelson,
Aye.
and Councilor Smith.
All right.
Motion passes 3-1. Item number G, discussion decision, remove yield sign at northbound corner of College Street and 4th Street and replace it with a stop sign. Same place, just across the street. That, can I get a motion, please? Councilmember Smith.
I move to remove the yield sign in the northbound corner with a stop sign.
We have a motion by Councilmember Smith, a second. Councilmember Nelson.
I second that.
We have a motion, we have a second by Councilmember Nelson. Do we have a discussion from the council on removal of the yield sign at the northbound corner of College Street? And more by the council? Do we have a discussion from the public? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilor Nelson,
Aye.
Councilor Brown,
No,
Councilor Smith,
Aye.
and Councilor Barker.
aye.
Motion passes 3-1. Thank you. Moving on to item number 8, board reports. Councilmember Burke.
I want to thank the girls for getting the Town of Stevensville Town Council rules to us. Council members, you need to read them, and then you need to sign them, saying that you did read them and you understand them. That's
Is that all, Councilmember Brown?
And we haven't had any town correspondence for a while, or we just don't have any, or,
We haven't been getting any.
thank you.
Mayor Nicholson? May I ask Councilman Brown a question?
Yes.
When would you like the council to have these returned back to me? To sign?
I would say by next council meeting, we need them back in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Nelson.
I just wanted to thank Steve. You guys do so much work around here that isn't recognized enough, in my opinion. Personally, and dare I say, from all you've out with delicate situations that come up, much appreciated. Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
executive report on February 19th, Public Works Director Stephen Lasser and I sat in an online meeting regarding Valley County and their wastewater and their septic. They're still trying to look for a municipality to try to take that on. On the 20th of this month, Public Works and the Police Department took a 4-hour driver safety the MMIA gave here at Town Hall, which was, I understand, pretty good.
Yes.
And on the 24th, Public Works Director Steve Lasser and I attended a floodplain meeting with the DNRC in Hamilton at the Bitterroot Valley Inn. Joan, I sent you guys, Joan Radine at the Montana State Highway Department sent a confirmation email that the state legal team has approved the no parking signs in front of Ava Coffee. When the ground thaws, it will be putting in no parking signs. And then I will be getting together with Steve to get that little parking area that the council approved in the back of that park back there. Let's free up some of that parking for him. And I started putting out flyers door to door yesterday and today regarding the 3rd annual chili cook-off to raise money for the police department on March 15th. I hope it's well attended. He's getting a lot of good donations to them, so that should be really well. We will be having another closed session meeting soon regarding Burn Fork Estates, so watch your emails. We will be starting on the budget this year earlier, since we don't have to worry about our water and sewer rates. And department heads should be looking at their budgets and putting in a wish list. I would like to put in a wish list myself, and I think the town needs a good used street sweeper. So what we have down there is a piece of crap. We couldn't even surplus it. And I see these other towns, when I travel, they have the street sweepers, they have the schedules. We need one, so we have to find money. So that's my wish list. I will be out of town attending an MMIA conference next month from the 15th to the 18th. And I'm asking the council if we could cancel our town meeting next Tuesday. And the reason is Janelle, she made a good point last week. She said, I started reading about the impact fees and what it takes. So she said, well, why don't we get a hold of Danny, who's doing our planning and growth? Maybe we could put that in there as part of the growth policy. Well, she came back with an answer and basically said, well, you could put it in with it, but you can't work it into it. You could work it into it, but you can't put it as part of it. But she also recommended that I would keep an eye on Senate Bill 133. So I looked that up, and it is very detailed. And she suggested that we hold off on our town meeting until the legislature makes a final decision on that, because there's a lot of changes that they want to make to it. It has to do with studies, it has to do with the rate that you can do your impact fee rates increases. It has to be tied to inflation, all that kind of stuff. So it's very in-depth, and I just don't think if we pulled it to the town meeting, we would be very
Counterproductive.
productive, yeah, until we get, we get the answers we need from the legislature. So, if you don't mind, I'll send out a notice to say that we're canceling the meeting. I haven't been able to do that. And that's my executive report. So with that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Have a motion, do we have a second?
I second that.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.